versus
Yeah.
the free throws in the second half.
No doubt.
Those, how big did the
Yeah,
win for you get?
that's, we've kind of had Achilles for our team this year. Like we get into stretches where we get up 8, 10, 12 points. Thank you, Chris. We get up 8, 10, 12 points, and then we get away from what we've, done to build that lead. And I think they had a lot to do with it. The environment had a lot to do with it. I think we lost our poise there. We get a flagrant foul. We start to foul unnecessarily. We're not stepping off to get a catch and be strong, and just passing and catching. And a lot of times when it gets down to it, you think it's some crazy scheme, but just being able to handle, their pressure. This is the simple pressure. Give them credit. And I thought they did a good job of that. Something we really talked about. They're a good defensive team, and they just kind of took us out of being able to run anything there for a while. And then we started getting good shots and we missed them. So like that really compounded itself. But we were still in the game. I thought we played well in the second half. We just didn't reward ourselves by making our free throws. You go 7 for 17 from the free throw line, then you get into a possession game. You're definitely going to reflect back on that and want some of those free throws back.
Just the productivity from their point guards, was that a defensive failing on Purdue's part, or just one of those nights for them?
Right. Well, it's really Rob Finney. I mean, I thought he was great. He made shots. He didn't turn the basketball over. He got steals. And he had 17 in that first half. With Trace going out and being in foul trouble, like he was the spark for him. But they also were getting a lot. He hit, I think, 3 threes in the first half. He ended up with 4. I think that was his only basket in the second half. But they were also getting in transition, and in the half court, they were getting right to the rim. Like our backline defense was like non-existent. So we're challenging things at the rim where we should be stopping the basketball before it gets to the paint, especially because a lot of them were baseline drives. But no, Xavier Johnson threw in a couple. Finney, got hot and made those shots, and one of them was really tough, obviously. But give those guys credit; they played well.
You got a guy just making a shot at the end of the game. Your defense was ready for him, but he just made a shot.
Yeah, they just ran a simple play out of bounds, and he just comes off firing. He probably had a better shot than one he just missed. They ran a single, and they lose one of our guys off that single, and then they come right there, and we're actually there, and he rises up and takes that shot. But big time shot. I give him credit.
Matt, you've usually got pretty good production off your bench.
Right.
And I don't think maybe a couple points, maybe 4 at the most. Just good guys just not getting a rhythm tonight coming off the bench.
Yeah, like we had some opportunities obviously there in the first half. Zach really had a good matchup there. Just the downside to that was his inability to make a free throw. So there at the end, and that was kind of my thinking as you go to it. Like I wanted Travion in there, but also the matchup with Trace Jackson Davis with 4 fouls. At that time. But yeah, we didn't. I always say that about when you get inconsistent minutes, it's hard to be consistent. Like so like these guys, like one played 5 minutes, one played 7, one played 15, one played 11, one played 16. So it's not like they played a lot of minutes. But yeah, we got to get more production than that. The turnovers are what's it. Like if you played in this game and you turn the basketball over and missing the free throws, like those are the 2 things that I think for us that we'd like to have back.
Just the turnovers and the free throws. Does that speak to composure, and if so, does that surprise you?
Well, I don't think free throws are composure. Free throws are just concentration and do your routine and make a free throw. But the turnovers were, just fundamentally, just pass and catch and just keep things simple. We weren't able to do simple things, and they kept their hands were very active.
Seemed like Trey Galloway really affected things from a defensive perspective.
Yeah, he makes it a difficult to get handoffs. Just sticking with guys. He's a good player. He's one of those guys that he might not affect things, but he can defend. He passes the ball, takes care of it like he plays tonight. Doesn't have any turnovers. Plays 25 minutes. Does a good job defensively. So he's a good player.
And the last drive by Jaylen, is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, we wanted him to get there though. He didn't quite get there, and so just try to turn that corner and come out of it. We could have went back and ran something different. The one thing about playing through the post is like you can run stuff and you can get it, and sometimes you can't get it there. So then it's those tight, low second type plays, low clock, type plays. Like now you can get stuck, and if you get stuck with someone with the ball that can't go make a play. So like now, like he was doing a good job of getting to the rim. He just had to turn the corner just a little bit more and get there. But I thought they did a good job. They knew it was, things were coming.
Is there anything off the top of your head that you can build on going into Sunday off this?
Well, I think just, learning from, the environment and playing. Obviously, it was an unbelievable environment at Illinois the other day. So, going there and coming here and just playing on the road. We've had some tight games that we have won. Obviously, Illinois, NC State. But we've also had some tight ones, like Rutgers and in this game right here, where you just got to be a possession better. You got to, like, that rebound there at the end, like that's ours. Like we have a 5-footer, like the play before, to go up 4, and then they come down and they miss, and we have the rebound and we punch it out. And like you just got to make that play, and if you don't, you got to make the next play. You can't make neither one of them. And then Rob Finney, that's the miss where we punch the rebound out on there. We get them to miss, and they got a good shot, so we were fortunate in there. I think just building off the experiences of being on the road and just going through the competition and everything. You're trying to win a championship, and you just how can you win a championship if you keep getting losses? That's the whole point here, and our guys understand that. But I thought both teams played well. They obviously they were a possession better than us.
Matt, Jayden said he wasn't sure he was going to play going in. What'd you see?
Yeah.
What'd you see from him early? It seemed like it took him a little bit to find his groove there.
Right. Yeah. He hurt he had a hip flexor in practice the other day. Just didn't get in there. He lost his composure a little bit, and those are the type of things that no matter what, from a physical standpoint, you got to stay locked in and not get those type of plays, especially in this environment. Allow that momentum to build. And but no, I thought he played really well. And also that play gets him a second foul and he goes out. So he wasn't playing that well at that time. So I don't know if that helped or hurt us at that time, but you'd still like to have, as a coach, you'd still like to have that opportunity to play somebody who's that talented. But no, he's a really good player. And you can see there kind of at the end, he was dragging a little bit and trying to, but he's, he's our guy with the most athleticism. So if you're trying to break people down and get to the rim and make things happen and create, he's the one for us.
Anything else?
What does that show you about his toughness?
Oh, Jayden? Yeah, being able to bounce back and from, having a little bit of an injury, but and having a tough first half and then being able to play, that was a great sign. So, but, when you play like Trace Jackson Davis is hurt, right? So our guy's hurt. So it's one of those things that it's part of basketball, man. Next guy's got to step up. Their next guy off the bench stepped up and had a great game and was probably the difference. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Matt.